Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll go over 3 cars that you should avoid buying as a used car. Now, these used cars are problematic because they have a high failure rate on one of their most expensive components. So either the engine, the transmission, or say a turbocharger. All right, number 1 on the list is the 1.4 liter Chevy Cruise, the 2011 model, which has the most complaints recorded. So they're known for transmission failures and engine failures, and also turbo failures where the turbocharger cracks and then you'll get under boost codes and a check engine light with that. Now the Cruise is problematic because of its transmission problems, engine problems, a lot of complaints on the AC systems, the cooling system. So I own one of these, the 2011 Chevy Cruise with the 1.8 liter. I don't have the problematic engine, but I can tell you right now with the 1.8 liter, comes with its own problems. A lot of the problems of the Chevy Cruise engines are the constant oil leaks. I've made many videos on my channel showing you how to fix the Chevy Cruise. Everything from brakes to thermostat housings to valve covers, timing belts, and so on. And for the Cruise, I had to do a lot to get rid of the oil leaks. So I had to replace the rear main seal, the front crank seal, reseal the oil pan about 3 times. Valve cover I replaced about 2 times. The oil cooler gaskets, the oil filter housing gasket as well. It's a problematic engine because not only it is unreliable in terms of the engine and the transmission, it also constantly leaks oil. So for someone like me that could fix his own car, I could save a bit of money on the labor. So if you're in the market for a used car and you're not mechanically inclined, the Chevy Cruise is going to be a bad decision for you to buy, because it's going to cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars in repair. So by all means, avoid this car. And not only the Chevy Cruise specifically, the 1.4 liter turbocharged engine on the Chevy Cruise also is shared with the Buick Encore, the Chevy Trax, and the Chevy Sonics. So you would also have to avoid all these makes and models to avoid costly repairs. So by all means, avoid the first generation Chevy Cruise. The second generation Chevy Cruise is doing a lot better. There are fewer complaints and fewer TSBs on this car. Alright, the second car you want to avoid buying is any Nissan with the CVT transmission. So the worst one is going to be the 2013 Nissan Ultima. And the most common failure on the Nissan Ultimas are going to be their CVT transmissions. And most of these CVT transmissions are not serviceable, so it's going to be a complete replacement. And that could cost upwards of $7,000 to replace and reprogram the transmission. Now, same thing with the Chevy Cruise. The Nissan Ultima also shares the same problems with other models of the same make. So avoid any Nissan with a CVT transmission. So that's going to be the Sentra, the Ultima, the Versa, and the Rogue. And these have the highest number of complaints and the highest numbers of failure on the transmission. Now, if you do have one of these cars with a CVT transmission, I recommend to replace the transmission fluid and the transmission fluid filters as often as 40,000 kilometers. It's the only way to keep the CVT transmission for a long time. A lot of car owners neglect changing their engine oil, which is the most important maintenance you could do on the car. So when it comes to transmission fluid, there's a misconception out there that it's a lifetime fluid. But for these cars, the CVT fluid is very sensitive to dirt and metal debris and also overheating. So that's why it's highly recommended to replace the fluid every 40,000 kilometers, which is pretty aggressive. Alright, the last car on the list is going to be the 2013 Kia Optima with the 2.4 liter engine. Now, the 2.4 liter engine is shared among the Sportage, the Sorento, and also their Hyundai equivalent, which is the Tucson, the Sonata, and the Santa Fe. Now, these engines are known for a really high failure rate, and the only fix for those is going to be a complete engine replacement from the dealership. And this also affects the 2-liter engine on the Kia Forte and the Kia Soul, and their Hyundai equivalent, which is the Hyundai Elantra. And these engine failures could be as soon as 100,000 kilometers. Even if you have a perfect maintenance record, these engines will fail eventually, just because the way they're machined. For the 2.4 liter engine on the Optima, there is a oil starvation issue with, I believe, cylinder number 4. So that's why it's inevitably going to fail. As for the 2 liter on the Forte, Soul, and the Elantra, you're going to hear a low-end knock at around 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, and the most common failure on these is the rod bearing failing. Alright, and that's going to be it for this short video. So by all means, avoid all these used cars if you don't want to be paying thousands of dollars in repair bills. So if you're in the market for a used car, I would suggest to save up a little bit more money to get yourself a more reliable car like a Toyota or a Honda. Now, you should avoid these cars like the Plaid because you will regret it down the line with all the repair costs and all the headache that comes with it. Alright, that's going to be it for this short video. Hope you guys liked it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.